Coming up now at 7:15, 76 degrees. Brandon Como is out of the studio this morning. He's over at Doghouse Computers. They have their 14th annual sale going on over there. The South College area is right where, just South College before you get to Pinhook. Doghouse Computers out there. And so Brandon's out there this morning. So in the role of Brandon, we have Glenn Fleming.
Hello.
So he's here. So Glenn Fleming said, you know what, we should have Chris Ortego play the role of Glenn Fleming. So it's all happening on Firearms Friday this morning. Good morning, everybody.
I don't know if I could ever replace Glenn.
That's
I was about to say, you playing me, you're now a sexy-looking guy.
Well,
you're not buying it, huh?
no, I'll take anything.
He'll
at this
take
point.
it. He'll take it. All right, so if you do have a question for Chris Ortego, or if you even want to say maybe something to Glenn, you can do that too. 232-1542, 232-1542. We got all kinds of topics to try to get to. So for those who don't know Chris, maybe because we only get to talk to him every once in a while, he's an NRA certified firearms instructor. He teaches, of course, concealed carry, gun safety classes. We always like to start out, kind of talking a little bit about safety issues or myths that might be out there. So let's kind of start with that realm this morning, young man.
Well, I know we've covered a lot of
Sure.
gun safety stuff over the time, so kind of branch out into a couple of myths that everybody hears. And I get this in a lot as, a concealed carry class is all the training I need. Yeah, it's all you need to get your permit.
Right.
But 9 hours every 5 years?
Not enough, huh?
Yeah.
No, that's nowhere near enough. It's something that should be continual. It should be something that kind of, I don't want to say immerses your life, but it's something that, if nothing else, you need to keep up on the laws. You need to keep up on the latest tactics and things like that, and go take an advanced shooting course that actually teaches a lot of those things, like Brandon LaBeouf over at No Attack and Bearco Training. Those guys that they'll travel places and they do these really large and very comprehensive classes. Just getting your permit is just the start of it.
Yeah. So that's really the minimum, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's like Glenn Fleming says.
Yes.
Training is key, and guns are a big responsibility. You have to be in the know to own one. You really should.
Right.
Yep.
And I was actually watching one of my favorite shows last night, Alaskan State Troopers.
Uh-huh.
That is my crack. But they pulled over a guy with a gun, and he didn't tell him for like 2 minutes that he had a gun in his car, which you're required to tell him.
Uh-huh.
And the officer kind of freaked out a little bit, understandably.
Right.
And told me, he was preaching to the guy. He said, "Look, man, you need to understand something. Yeah, you have a right, but you have the responsibility
That's
if you're going
right.
to exercise that right."
That's exactly right.
And
these guys sitting here in studio, that's what they always hammer home. It's always, always about the responsibility. All right, let's see. We're going to go to this caller now who has been patiently waiting. Caller, go ahead.
Thank you, and good morning to all of you. First thing, everybody talks about concealed carry class and what the cost of the class is, but my question is that all of the costs associated with getting the concealed carry permit?
Okay, thank you for the question. Appreciate it. So is it just the cost of taking the class, or does it depend on the instructor, Chris? Or
It really, here's the thing, and this is something, I work with a network of over 200 instructors, and all of our prices are about the same.
Okay.
And some are maybe just a little bit more, but I can tell you this, you're going to get what you pay for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen people that their blanket cost for the whole class is $50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to save a lot of money, but what are you really getting?
Mm-hmm.
The guys that charge 100, 150, or 125, like me, we spend our lives. This consumes our lives. I've got friends that are huge, big tactical guys, and they've spent well over $100,000 on their education. They go several times a year to these other training courses. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, but I do attend a lot of these meetings. I do work with a lot of these guys, and I'm constantly learning and developing. The same class that you take, this year of mine is not going to be the same as it is when you come in for your renewal.
Yeah, there's
I'm going to change things around.
Right.
I'm going to steadily improve my course. So you're going to get what you pay for. Okay, you need to investigate your instructor that you're going to be working with.
And that's what makes a big difference in instructors. I mean, you can go to an instructor and he'll teach you how to put, 15 rounds on target and qualify for a concealed carry license. But he won't tell you anything about when you should actually pull it, what you expect when you do have to use your gun for, lawful self-defense. And that's a bigger part than shooting.
Right, and that's I focus a lot on that. I mean, we in my class I have several real life videos that we go through, and we'll examine them bit by bit by bit to show, okay, this is when he now meets, the definition of justifiable homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is when he can use it for defense. This is when you can't use it for defense. But here's the thing I tell a lot of people is, criminals are stupid.
Yeah.
They don't know that you can't shoot them.
Well, there you
at
go.
At a certain point.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so criminals are stupid. All right.
Good to know.
If they examined the laws or did anything, if they did half the research that, instructors do, they would know, I can walk away. You can't touch me.
Interesting. Interesting.
Well, talking about criminals are stupid. The thing that a lot of people don't realize, or it's common sense, and it's just kind of they glance over it because it's so obvious, is they're criminals. They don't care about the law.
That's
even
right.
if they knew that there's a certain point where you can justifiably shoot them in the eyes of the law, they don't care because to them, a gun is a tool that they use for violence or to rob or whatever. They're just not that bright. And criminals do not follow the law. That's why they're criminals.
If they were bright, they would be following the law.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we have lots of telephone calls now, so we'll try to go to those. Good morning. You're on Firearms Friday. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Hey, I love your help us this morning.
I know, right? It's kind of fun.
I love you too.
Awesome. Hey, I think with the guy that called in a while ago when he asked if there was any other charges.
Yeah.
I think somebody asked me because I have mine and I told them how much I paid for my class and it was $125. But that's not the only fee. You also have to pay a fee to the state, and there's also some notary fees in there if you don't turn in all your paperwork online. There's like another $130 or $125. You actually have to pay the state. I think that's what the guy was trying to find out.
Okay, great. Thanks, man.
And I apologize for that. We got off on a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah,
I
that's
apologize.
cool.
But yeah, here's what's involved as far as price goes. You got the instructor's price, which can vary.
Yeah.
If you do the old paper applications, yes, you do still have to get a notary. State police have asked all the instructors that I've worked with and everything that they want us to start pushing people towards the online submission.
Okay.
Which if you do online submission, which if you do paper, you could take up to 4 months. If you do it online, the average time from time of completing the application to time of receiving your card in the mail is roughly 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a
huge
lot
difference.
quicker.
And the other side is if you do the old paper application, you still have to submit a money order. Regardless, that money's gone. Okay, whether or not it's denied or not. But if you do it online, if you're denied, you don't pay. If you're accepted, you pay.
Okay.
That.
Yeah.
I did not know that either.
And you also save money because you're not going to need a notary.
Okay. So it's better to take a course with a guy who is very much educated as you are about the situation. Then you will instruct them in the class too. Hey, do this online.
I have a lot of tools, and working with a lot of other instructors, we share a lot of information and we share a lot of the tools that we do. I have a really good friend of mine who made a video on how to actually go through the entire online process.
Cool.
And so when I actually email certificates now.
Yeah.
Instead of just, handing them out because most people in my class do the online application now.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of helping them save a step besides that fact.
Right.
Now I have a question for you, man. Of course the people in Lafayette City, they're going to come to you for a class, of course, because you know what you're talking about.
Hopefully.
But the people in the surrounding parish who just can't, or whoever's listening on the radio, who can't make it to your class, what's a good, how would they know a good instructor from a bad instructor?
A good instructor is going to be able to, if you call them up on the phone and you start bombarding them with questions, they should be able to answer everything. In all honesty, if you ask me, there's 2 courses that can be taught.
Mm-hmm.
You have that can legally be taught. There's the NRA Basic Pistol course, which, in all honesty, it teaches you everything you need to know for first-time, pistol
that's
owners,
a first-time gun
yeah.
owner thing. Yeah.
But it doesn't really teach you a lot of the self-defense stuff that you need to know. It doesn't teach you a lot of the laws that you need to know. The other thing is the state police allow us to create our own 9-hour curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I've worked with state police. State police have given me the blessing on mine. I've passed it through several other instructors to sit there and either critique it and check my grammar and all the stuff like that, to check my laws and everything. And I've had I can guarantee you this much, my class has been through probably more scrutiny than somebody who's charging $50 for their class.
Yeah. Makes a big difference.
Come on down to Cooter's Shooting Scoot and get your license.
Pretty much. It's you really need to investigate the instructor. Talk to people. One thing I've started pushing people to do is I have a Facebook page, and AGW has a Facebook page, to go on there, because you can kind of do like the Yelp thing, and you can go on there, grade my class, give me 5 stars if you think it was great, give me 1 star if you think I'm a jerk.
I'm giving you 1 star right now. Hold up.
Leave a comment. I've gone through a lot of marketing programs and things like that, and one of them is, don't delete negative comments.
That's right.
Work with them.
That's right. You got to work with it. Back to the phone lines. Hi, good morning. You're on Firearms Friday. Go ahead.
Good morning. There's one more fee that people need to know about. There's the cost of the class, there's the cost of the permit itself, and then there's the cost of the fingerprints. And everybody, whether they've been fingerprinted before, needs to get a brand new set of fingerprints for Louisiana State Police.
Interesting. Okay, thank you. So
there's
I forgot about the whole fingerprint thing.
There's a couple, and fingerprints are usually only for first-time applicants or people who have let their application lapse.
Okay.
And the fee can vary anywhere between $10 to $15 depending on where you go.
Okay.
Not state police. Sheriff's Department, I think, is 10.
I believe so. Yeah.
Police is 15. State police actually have asked people to start going to the state police headquarters in Baton Rouge to do, if you're going to do your online applications, or if you've got messed up fingerprints.
That's what I had to do, because they do the cool machine that goes ping.
It goes straight into their system.
Yeah.
Neat.
And they asked that if you do that, you need to go kind of early, because they have to do like oil field guys, they got to do teachers, they got to do. It's not just for the concealed carry unit. And the thing about that is, it helps expedite the process of getting your permit, because it's automatically computerized, and they can just run you through the system, and it attaches to your account, and all is right with the world.
I love it.
And I don't think it costs more than $15.
So, like, if somebody's saying to themselves and they're listening to this right now, how much do you think they should kind of think about putting aside? Like, let's say it's $125 for your course. Let's say, you got some fingerprints, you got that situation, you got the cost with the state. I was thinking around that same amount, maybe $300.
Right. Here's one thing that I've told people. I go over the pros and cons between getting your 5-year permit or your lifetime permit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's pros and cons to both.
Okay.
If you get the 5-year permit, it's $125 paid to the state, and your permit is good for 5 years. But the con is, you got to do the paperwork every year, minus your fingerprints.
Right.
The other side of it, just as an FYI, because I know people ask you about it still, is photo IDs.
Yes.
You don't have to do that anymore.
Okay.
They tied into the state DMV. The what?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, they tied into the DMV, so you don't have to submit pictures anymore. Still got to submit a picture of your driver's license, so it's like, okay, this guy is this guy.
He's a real person.
Yeah.
He matches this person.
One thing to think about with the cost of a 5-year versus lifetime is veterans discount.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The veterans discount for you pay half fees either way, for 5-year or for lifetime. Lifetime is $500, but if you're a vet or if you're Senior citizen is $250.
Good
Which
to
just
know.
makes it real
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, yeah,
And,
that's a much better discount.
Now, the pro is, the other pro for getting your lifetime, for getting your 5-year, is that you can use your 5-year if you've gotten it after March 9th of this year. You can use that to bypass the NICS FBI background check.
Well,
Okay.
you
Kind of.
bypass it. You're not really bypassing it. They're just using the information they already have on file recently for the NICS background
So it's not
check.
like they have to go and do it again.
Exactly.
They're using what they already have.
It's actually, it comes in handy for a lot of guys, like a friend of ours who, he has a very common name. And he gets held every time.
Yeah.
And he's got to sit there and wait 3 days, and every day he comes into the gun shop, and he's like, can I play with it?
Yeah.
I know I can't take it, but I just
That
wanna hold it.
happens to some people. They come
Yeah.
in, purchase a gun, they have a common name, or maybe an uncommon name, or the ATR, actually the FBI is just not feeling it that day, and they'll go ahead and put them on what's called the delay, and that's
Okay.
like 3 to 5 days, and then they clear it and get their gun. As long as they're cool and they can be cleared.
yeah. But if you have your 5-year permit, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you can do that with lifetime.
I think if you get it on the same, as long as you meet the date requirements, I think it's okay.
Okay, I'll have to investigate that a little more.
All right, so we will ask that again next week. Gosh, we could keep going on. Thank y'all so much. This is very interesting in terms of all the stuff that we got. You might want to stand by because we may have a couple of folks who want to call a little bit after the show here. And we do have news coming up. We'll check in with Brandon Como again, who is out at Doghouse Computers on South College.